Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise to Yahweh, Washem Yahushai, double unsaid apostles, a great millstone, and blessing all you sincere labors out there pushing the truth, and all sincerity and faith and honesty. I am that fellow servant, Kanakla, coming at you once again from GMS Temple Bay 12. GMS Yahushai, the Holy One. I'd like to thank Yahweh, Washem Yahushai, for giving me the spirit to do another lesson. Alright, and this is just going to be a quick lesson here. Excuse me if you hear the noise in the background, but it's just the Brics news from our article. Brics is the future of global economy. South African politician, and as we know, Brics is Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. All right, they pretty much are trying to stop using the U.S. dollar and trade amongst themselves outside of U.S. dollars. So what this has to do with pretty much the end of an empire. All right, America. All right, this is a downfall of this American empire. All right, once these countries stop using the U.S. dollar and start trading amongst themselves. All right, because what America does is put sanctions on other countries, therefore cutting them off from the global market. All right, the global economy, because the petrodollar is the currency that is used for international trade. So America is able to have the edge or the upper hand on the other countries by cutting them off from the global market. All right, because their currency is used. So they would put sanctions on other countries and cut them off from buying, selling, or trading. All right. So I'm just going to get into this article. Like I said, this is be a quick lesson, and I'll bring out a few precepts, and I'm going to close out. It says, the 5-nation bloc of emerging economies, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. All right, BRICS is a force, all right, that could promote inclusive global economic growth. That's according to David Mukura, the premier of South Africa's northern province, Gauteng, who was speaking at the BRICS Business Council midterm meeting in Johannesburg. All right, it says BRICS trade surges by 30% as global market influence of developing economies. It's like economies grows. Putin. All right, so let's look at this article. Then we'll go back to that. This article was posted last year. All right, it says Russian trade with fellow BRICS countries has grown significantly in the last year, and the country wants to keep the momentum going. All right, so this is not only just happening, but this thing is growing. All right, the trade amongst themselves, leaving the U.S. out of it. It says Putin in his opening address at the BRICS summit in South Africa. The 10th annual BRICS summit takes place in Johannesburg, South Africa on July 25th through 27th. Where the leaders of the governments of the 5 members, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, meet to discuss cooperation in political and socio-economic affairs. Strengthening trade and investment ties with BRICS partners is one of the key priorities for Russia. By the end of 2017, our trade with other members of the association grew by almost 30%, surpassing $102 billion, and we are determined to do our utmost to further increase trade within the BRICS, Putin said on Thursday. So this 30% and this $102 billion growth, all right, America didn't get a cut, all right, didn't get any play, so to say, within that $102 billion, all right. It says the Russian president added that the BRICS new development bank should open branches in all member countries of the bloc. I support the idea of opening regional offices of the bank. The talks on this are being held with Brazil. All right, and that's pretty much it on this article. I'll probably read the closing statement. It says, together, BRICS countries account for 26.4% of world land area and 42.58% of world populations. All right, according to IMF estimates, BRICS member states generate almost a quarter of the world's GDP in 2015, have contributed more than half of global economic growth in the last 10 years. All right, so this BRICS, this BRICS thing is pretty heavy, man. All right, and it's contributed more than half of the global economic growth. So other countries are growing. All right, other foreign companies and countries are growing economically, but as you can see over here in America, All right, there's no growth. You got stores closing down within the beginning of this year. All right, you had so many stores closed down. All right, in America. Okay, so they're growing and America is falling, and America can only blame itself. All right, due to the pretty much the way America conducts itself amongst other nations, man. All right, putting sanctions on them. Here it is, just this year. Donald Trump, I believe it was like 2 weeks ago, they put sanctions on its EU allies, all right, European allies. Okay, and what and how they able to do that by cutting them off from the global market. Okay, cutting them off on certain things, whether it's visas or whatever. It restricts them from making certain trades, buying and selling. So that's not going to do nothing but pretty much push all these other countries to join the BRICS, man. All right, it says BRICS is about the future of global economy. He said, as quoted by the Premier Media, Makura said that the bloc could help to reshape the world's economy. We can never underestimate what we can do together. There's a huge opportunity if our businesses work together. The politician said, adding that trade between BRICS countries had grown steadily. According to Makura, the blog is also a platform for advocating for the whole of Africa, which remains a continent of future with its youthful population. He said there is no doubt that the BRICS economies can play a key role in catalyzing Africa's industrialization and development. The BRICS group of 5 countries represent more than 40% of the world's population. Right? So more than 40%. So half is 50. All right, so the BRICS represent 40% of the world's population. So, pretty soon, America will pretty much crash the economy, the global market before this pretty much gets to ahead, gets too far ahead. So, we're not really looking for this to take place. But what's going to happen is that something called hyperinflation is going to occur over here in America, all right? Because these countries are trading amongst themselves and not using the US dollar. It says, according to IMF, estimates member states are responsible for more than half of global economic growth in the last 10 years. All right, so that being said, I'm going to get some precepts here and I'm going to close out. This is Jeremiah 51 verse 6. Flee ye out of the midst of Babylon. Deliver every man his soul, be not cut off in her iniquity. For this is the time of the Lord's vengeance, he will render unto her a recompense. And the Lord is playing chess, man. He's putting a spirit on these nations, to come together and pretty much cut the U.S. Out of foreign trade, all right? And the global economy, pretty much cutting them out of these things, man. As you can see, it says within the last 10 years, the member states are responsible for more than half of global economic growth over the last 10 years. Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. Once again, they are growing. All right, they're bringing growth to the global, economy. But America is losing, man. Countries or companies are taking their businesses cross seas. All right, and pretty much America is finished, man. That merchant city is on its way out of here. And you can see right now these countries are forsaking America. So as it says, flee out of the midst of Babylon, deliver every man his soul. So all of you that have investments, I always hear people constantly talking about their pension and talking about their Social Security. The people know that, it's almost over with because they always say, well, if Social Security is here 7 years from now when I retire, or 5 years from now if it's still here, so they can pretty much see that America is finished, man. And this is just proof, all right? This is the end of an empire. This is proof that America is just being cut off, man. Everyone is forsaking her. All right, so I'm going to continue on this. It says, flee out of the midst of Babylon, deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity, for this is the time of the Lord's vengeance. He will render unto her a recompense, all right? So the Lord is getting ready to judge America, all right, by pretty much, and people like to talk about the military pretty much, and that's their biggest offensive weapon, but really one of their biggest offensive weapon besides their military is the US dollar. All right, because with that they're able to cut people off from the global market, so they can't buy, sell, or trade, man. So that's actually a weapon in itself. Okay, so it says Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand and have made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunk enough of wine, therefore the nations are mad. And as you can see, the nations, they drunk of their wine. They got the U.S. dollar pumped into their economies. They invested in it. They have U.S. reserves. That's why you see China now dumping U.S. treasuries. Russia dumping U.S. treasuries. All right, so they drunk of that wine. All right, they're mad, man. They see that this dollar is not worth anything, and America does nothing but take advantage of other countries with, far as trade, putting sanctions on them, cutting them off from the global market. So the nations are mad. So what they do in return, all right, they form this economic coalition, so to say, for lack of a better term, and pretty much cut America off, all right, and trade amongst themselves. As you can see within what it is, I think it said 100 in 2017. It was like 120 or 102 billion within trade, all right? And America was not a part of that. So that, once again, they're growing, but America is not, man, all right? They're falling. Okay, so finish all in this. It says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain. If so, she may be healed. And, there's no stimulus plan or nothing that can pretty much cure this wound, all right? All those stores that closed down earlier this year in America, all right, this place is finished, man. So all you people that put your hope in your dreams and your investments in America, these countries are cutting America off, man. Not only its enemies, but also its allies pretty soon, man. Donald Trump recently this year, maybe a couple weeks ago, just put sanctions on the EU, talking about trade, how they being cheated out of trade and so on and so forth. But here it is. The issue is that you send all the jobs cross seas, and then you get taxed when all the goods are imported over here, man. All right, instead of just paying the U.S. workers to pretty much make the product over here, you ship it cross seas, and then you want to complain about being taxed on the products, But here it is, you got the people making the product, so the people they want a fair share too. Here it is, what you paying them pennies on a dollar to make the objects over here. Then you come over here and you sell them, you triple, quadruple the amount, man. All right, someone can make a TV over in China, a Samsung TV over in China for like, let's say $50, and you come over here and sell it for $200. All right. It says Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her? Take balm for her pain. If so, she may be healed. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go everyone to his own country. For her judgment reaches unto the heaven, and is lifted up even unto the skies. All right. So when Americans, this is gonna touch home real soon. All right. These countries are growing and pretty much keeping America out of the trade, out of the money, so to say. And, this is going to touch home pretty soon. Gas is going to be high. The price is going to rise. We can clearly see the gas prices slowly just rising up. All right, cost of food, your basic necessities, eggs, milks, bread, all that is going up. Your clothing, from your clothing to man, pretty soon, you go in these stores, the stores are empty. They don't have the stuff you want. Just, man, real soon it's going to be no food on the shelves. And that's when that sedition amongst men is going to kick in. Second Ezra, the 16th chapter. Like I said, I don't want to make this video too long. All right. I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Double honor to the apostles, a great millstone, and taught me his truth. And blessing all you sincere laborers out there pushing his truth in all sincerity and faith and honesty. Shalom.